Dan and Corey here, welcoming you into Libservative.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back.
Yeah, welcome in to another rousing rendition of Libservative, intellectual idiots fostering political and cultural literacy, the world's smartest podcast. I think I forgot to give this disclaimer on our last few episodes, but I'll remember to do it this time. All opinions heard on tonight's show are our own and not necessarily those of Libservative. Bell the Body Snatcher on the ones and twos. He is always his Corey Walsh.
And he's Dan Griffin. And thanks for asking, Dan. I don't want anyone to look at me differently, but I won the Drunken Olympics up on the island last weekend.
I'm sitting here thinking you're drinking out of a beer pong trophy and just wondering if you don't have any clean dishes available.
No, I won it this week. Drunken Olympics at Booze Ho Island, 2025, biggest drunk. And you heard it here first, folks. So I don't want anyone to look at me differently. I don't want anyone to think that I'm superior to them. I'm just a normal guy like y'all. So
you just showed up in the algorithm of somebody who runs a rehab clinic for sure, and he will be sliding into your DMs momentarily.
That's fine. I'll be like, you want to be my partner next year? Go back to back, try to win.
He'll send you his best athletes.
Dude, we kicked ass, man. We won dizzy bat, we won beer pong, bag toss, a bunch of chugging contests.
Did you guys do a butt chug?
We boofed. No, we ran out of time, and my son was there. He was the ref. I did. I had him. I bought a whole ref outfit for him. He was out there blowing the whistle and shit.
I figured the butt chug was like the tiebreaker.
No, the tiebreaker ended up being another beer pong tournament, and between the top 3 winning teams. And boy, I was fucking hot. I couldn't miss, and I was making people want to flip a fucking table. Do you ever do that thing when you go, all right, now go ahead and re-rack it, and then when they're racking it, you bounce it to get the 2 cups?
Yeah.
Ooh, that makes people so angry.
For anybody who didn't think that this was just a typical frat boy podcast, I guess you were wrong. Wrong the whole time. I'm a
36-year-old man, and I still got it, baby.
Oh, well, what do we got going on tonight, Corey? We're definitely going to get into Trump's tariffs on India. We have one of the 2 great senators from our wonderful state of Michigan, Alyssa Slotkin, making her rounds on both corporate media and trying to look cool in the podcast scene. Pretty sure she's making her push for presidential run. It's Alyssa Slotkin, and we as Michiganders,
she's a U.S. senator, right?
Yes, she just
her
recently
Gary
won.
Peters. Yeah,
she took Stabenow's seat.
So what's her play? Because let's think about this, right? We already have one governor here who's going to be probably running for president. She's on the outs. Do you think she's going to run for governor? I don't think she's going for president. You think she's already going for president? Unless she's doing that thing where she just wants to take 2 or 3% of the vote, so whoever's the front runner makes a deal with her to be a part of the cabinet to position herself to run for president down the road, because that is a pathway to presidency.
I was going to say she may not be positioning herself for 2028, but maybe for the future. Doesn't really matter. She'll be a horrible president. She'll be a terrible candidate. We'll explain all the reasons why.
CIA. That's what you want. Someone who used to work for the CIA to be your president.
We have Trump introducing something pretty
Orwellian.
How bizarre is it that within a week we have Stephen Colbert and now Howard Stern being blown out from their long-term shows? You have part of the population thinking that it's Trump that caused this. the other part of the population thinking it's just that these shows are terrible. I could see a scenario where it's probably a small combo of both.
Yeah, I would
However,
say it's a combination. It's just a perfect storm.
I will say this. I think it's more the fact that their shows are absolutely fucking terrible. You know, and you know what makes their shows so bad? Both of them. And I feel so bad saying this about both of them because I used to love both of them. The Colbert Report on Comedy Central was a fucking fantastic show. It changed in a lot of ways the way late TV was done. I don't like Stephen Colbert anymore. And Howard Stern. I mean,
Changed radio.
I grew up on Shock Jock Radio. Who didn't love Howard Stern? I mean, honestly, there's a part of our show that only kind of exists because Howard Stern paved the way for us. So again, terrible that I have to say these things, but the thing that these guys both did wrong was that they got to a place where they thought they were smarter than their audience. At the end of the day, that's why their shows suck.
Yeah, I remember learning that at the now defunct broadcast school that we went to. Is don't try to sound smarter than your audience.
Don't ever assume your audience is dumber than you are. That's like broadcasting 101. Now, we like to make jokes and pretend like our audience is dumber than we are, but that's part of the joke.
Well, that's because we're the world's smartest podcast.
That's right. We absolutely are. So our audience really is dumber than we are.
Everyone
Fuck
is.
you all. Mm-hmm.
Everyone's dumber than we are.
And you also had, in other news, you have this story disturbs me a lot. You have Lil Tay starting an OnlyFans at midnight on her 18th birthday. And I look at that and I go, and actually Belle's got the numbers for us because she raked it in.
She's already subscribed.
In very short. Me? Oh, Belle?
Gross. For research. For research.
I'm gonna say this. You know how Joe Rogan often makes the joke about how if you let enough days go by, Alex Jones just gets more right every day. I don't know that I believe that, but it's a joke where it's all jokes are at least somewhat based in truth if they're funny, right? And Alex Jones has been running around talking about how there is this huge pedophilia problem in the United States. And when you listen to the numbers that Belle is about to read to you, I kind of get where Alex Jones is coming from now. This girl is minutes away from being 17 years old. And go ahead, Belle. Give us the numbers.
Literally 1 minute away from being 17. No. And mind you, this is only after 3 hours.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
From subscriptions, she got $511,003.79. From returning messages, she got $486,558.11. And she got $26,736.19 in tips.
Oh, Lord, Jesus!
I don't know what to say.
I just paid $88.
Trump is one of the subscribers, actually.
I doubt it. Well, you have the belief from the Epstein stuff that he may have been diddling kids. I don't think so, but
Donald Trump is a bad guy. He's a bad person.
I don't know, man. That is absolutely disturbing.
Yeah, that many people were waiting for somebody to turn 18.
They had to have been like waiting at their computers, like they had some insider information, like it's fucking Congress, going, all right, any minute it's gonna drop. It's gonna drop. There she is.
When you have all these people talking about this large pedophilia,
licking her bean all over my screen.
The large pedophilia ring that costs a lot of money to be a part of only has a few hundred. You bring the price down to $3.39, then everyone's basically a pedo.
Ooh.
You make the Pope look like a fool. God will make you pay.
Yeah, no,
Smite them.
And
I don't know, man. I didn't really want to elaborate on that. I just wanted to discuss how disturbing that was and how
fast. And wait, here's what makes it even more disgusting. Yeah, here's what makes it even more disgusting. Is she pops this OnlyFans up at midnight, and she's already got a bunch of videos. The logistics don't make sense, Dan.
Oh, see, that's a good point. Is
This
that
kinda
true, Bill?
was-
Or did these come out slowly over a matter of hours?
No, she had an exclusive video at 12:01 a.m.
Was it live?
I don't know.
I even feel uncomfortable asking those questions, but I'm just doing the math here, and the math ain't math. It sounds like this girl was.
Well,
underage
hold
and
on.
made this shit.
If they were solo, there's nothing wrong. If they're solo, it's still legal because they weren't
Right, but it'd
posted.
still be CP, right?
Would it? Is the time it's
If she-
recorded matter? I don't
Well,
know,
dude,
man.
Come on, if I had photo like the selfies I sent when I was underage,
That's true. That's a good
if
point,
those were
Corey.
distributed right now, that would be CP.
You wouldn't get nearly as many views.
Very successful, very rich.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point because those videos would have technically been recorded when she was still 17 years old. That's
Is nobody talking about this? I don't know. Like, I don't
know.
tread in
know
these
the le-
waters normally, Dan. I don't know the
I
rules.
don't either. I don't know the legality behind that. I don't want to know. I don't want to know right now.
No, I just want to keep assuming it's all illegal.
God, I mean, it is
not even
it is-
illegal. I don't even like the word using the word illegal. I want to recant that and say it's all immoral
Yeah, that's not.
because
Oh God.
legality and morality don't always often coincide. This is perfect.
Not-
This and slavery are two great examples.
I don't know. I
Wonder what the
have
median
no-
age is. If they're all, what if it was a bunch of people that also just turned 18?
Well, there's already a lot of that going on in the porn industry. I mean, how much of the fucking barely legal, you know what I mean? How you see that on the fucking
Yeah,
title of
there is probably
shit.
a lot of girls that did that just snuck in with a fake ID. It seems like a seedy business.
Or
Sex
were,
is a seedy business.
or were coerced in by disgusting.
But you know
pedophiles.
how we could solve a lot of this, Dan? Just make like prostitution of people of age just legal.
I
and
thought you
legal
were about
to-
to. I thought you were about to make an age of consent argument.
No, what? No, what? No.
Which side are you on?
That's what Dan asked all his dates before he got married.
No, dude, I already told
Write
you.
an 18 on the napkin and start singing, "Which side are you on?"
I already told you, man.
All in jest. No, this is
I've always been a fan of the Cougars myself. I could never get in trouble for that.
this is ungood.
That's a really good way to put it. Yeah, we can move on from that into some dildo conversation. That's a really
even
great
better.
segue.
Perfect.
Apparently there is a dildo epidemic in the WNBA right now. And I am so here for this because I think America needs this.
Oh, Christ, the dildo's back!
Yeah, I am all in for this. Do you know why that is, Corey? Because this is a situation where I don't see anybody up in arms getting upset about this. At least not anybody that matters. This is a laugh fest for everybody involved. The third dildo that was thrown on the court was actually hit Sophie Cunningham, who, by the way, is probably like the hottest female basketball player in the world. And some girl, one of the other players, just comes over and just fucking boots it on the other side of the baseline. And Sophie Cunningham goes to the sideline, and she's laughing. She's laughing about it. Everybody is having a laugh riot over these dildos being thrown on the floor,
next?
and it is great.
You know what I hope happens next?
Gotta try to get away from this dildo!
A bunch of fleshlights like getting tossed onto the course with the med.
It's funny you mention that because Polymarket has bets on what the next color of the dildo will be on the next one that's thrown on the floor. And also, you can bet on which day a dildo will be thrown on the floor. The WNBA needs to lean into this. There's been suggestions all over Twitter that there should be that the WNBA should have a dildo night, a promotion, which would be great for Polymarket because any color dildo could be thrown on the floor.
Right. Oh, yeah, it'd just be goofy with it.
In the last 10 days,
It's been
Actually, I
three
think this might-
dildos, right?
This might have been as of yesterday. In the last 10 days, there has been a 30% chance of a dildo hitting a WNBA floor in the last 10 days. Unironically, getting dangerously close to to polling on the direction of the country, which is sitting at about 38% for folks thinking that the country is headed in the right direction. The percentage chance of a dildo hitting a WNBA floor in the last 10
Guys
days
really are gay. They really want dicks on the course, don't they? Don't they?
I guess they really. Oh, who says it's a man that's throwing these dildos?
That is pretty funny. It could be a woman.
Don't assume their gender. That 30% chance of a dildo hitting a WNBA floor in the last 10 days is walloping congressional approval ratings, which is sitting at about 23% according to last Tuesday's YouGov poll. So if you are up for re-election in Congress and a green dildo decides to primary you, I would be very, very worried. You're in big trouble.
Shit. Wait, YouGov polled. They pulled the green dildo at higher than.
No.
Wait.
I'm just saying the percentage chance of a dildo hitting a WNBA floor in the last 10 days is higher than congressional approval rating right now at 23%.
Jesus, that's so funny.
Although somebody should take that poll. Would a green dildo have a better chance of beating your
the green dildo that hit Cunningham's face, or
hit her in the leg, hit her in the foot? It's okay.
Oh,
If it hit her in the face, man,
there would be so
probably
many.
does need to stop.
Oh my
It's a little
god,
bit dangerous. Maybe putting any eyes out.
Yeah, in all reality, yeah, it's definitely probably not the greatest idea to do.
Gotta try to get away from this dildo!
Like a
That's actual audio from Sophie Cunningham.
You sure about that?
But yeah, like these guys, like it's basically just a rubber solid, like a piece of solid rubber that's in a cylindrical shape.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean,
none of
if it came,
you could end someone's season.
Yeah, if it came from 18 rows up, I can imagine that hurting pretty bad.
If it came from the second fucking
The second deck.
second balcony, yeah, and you just whipped it out. You figure it's on a trajectory going down with the inertia you already gave it, and it's falling 9 feet. Was it 9.3 feet per second?
I'm just
Faster.
picturing
It's
this
just
dildo
gaining
tumbling-
speed.
This dildo just tumbling ass over apple cart on the way to hit.
Dude, we're gonna end up having a basketball player giving a review with a mushroom or giving a interview after the game with a mushroom stamp on her forehead.
And a black eye.
Yeah,
The WNBA is trying
this
to
is
do something
also
about this.
Dan. This is also ungood.
Yes, it is.
But
That's gonna
really
be Corey.
funny.
Be Corey Stuckey. That's what I'm saying. The WNBA
Because no one's
is
gotten
trying to
hurt
do-
yet. It's August 6th, 2025. There's a 33% chance it could happen today. If there's a game.
Or this week. The WNBA is trying to do something about the dildo epidemic. They're implementing a no bag policy for I think that's just for tonight's NBA games as we
Oh my
record
God.
this.
Dude,
So
people
Corey,
can
where are
still
they going to
smuggle-
hide the dildo? Where are they
People
going
can
to hide the
still
dildo
smuggle
now?
that in. People could. They
Where
have
they-
another pocket.
Where are they going to hide it?
They could
Don't
easily
answer
smuggle that in.
I was gonna say, where are they gonna hide it?
Don't answer that. Don't answer that. It's such a stupid joke. That was such low hanging fruit.
I'd hide it under my hat.
I mean, what I think also makes it great is that everybody seems to be laughing about it, and the WNBA is a bit of an oddity because literally half of the league is gay. Like literally, like 50% of WNBA players are lesbians. What other sport do you have that going on in? It saved the soccer jokes. Okay, that's low hanging fruit as well.
Wrestling jokes.
But you
Not
don't
like-
you don't
Not the WWF.
you don't typically
but
have
like-
that. It's not a normal thing. Could you imagine if half the NBA was gay? They're all
They aren't.
the WNBA. They're all marrying each other. They're all like married to each other. It's so fucking. It's just bizarre. Not that there's
It's
anything wrong
interesting.
with that.
It's getting so much hype right now. Do you think it's gonna eventually break even with like its profits?
Not anytime soon. The tickets are still cheap. I'm still not interested in it. I Caitlin Clark's the best thing that ever happened.
Well,
to that league.
it
And
goes
everybody-
to the Bill Burr joke, right? Like we already got guys sports.
Right. It's
You
on the
know, you
ladies.
can watch the guys. Yeah, it's kind of on the girls, but they'd rather watch Is It Cake? And I'm not knocking them for that, but it's like I don't know. I don't know how to solve that problem.
sports are a mostly masculine activity that attract men, and men are going to watch men play sports. It's not really that hard to figure out why men don't like to watch the WNBA. Although if there's dildos flying on the floor, if there's a 30% chance I'm going to see a dildo, I'm going to start turning it on.
You're talking about just turning the WNBA into like basically the Harlem Globetrotters, like every team, or like the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, where are we gonna? When
like,
are we gonna see
tonight? The teams are playing on stilts. No dildos tonight, guys. Sorry.
When are we going to see the next one? That's all I want to know. I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for that dildo to fly.
They're going to keep happening until someone gets caught.
Do
you think it's a rogue? Do you think it's a solo actor, or do you think
it's not? Because it's taken place in different. I mean, that would be crazy because it's been all three of them have been in different cities. So I mean, could be the same person, but like that seems like it seems like a lot of money to spend on flights for a joke with a dildo involved. Although it's getting a lot of play. Yeah, that's true. Dildos are kind of cheap, like $30, $20. I don't know. The nice ones.
Are you gonna buy a nice one if you're throwing it on the floor?
I don't know, man. Those things.
The camera guys go, "Wow, the guy's weird and cheap."
all three dildos that were thrown on the floor, they were hogs, man. These things were not small, but way bigger than me.
Outside, nerd. Get out. Go. I ain't got time to be distracted by your worthless chime-ins. Go on.
But no, that's pretty wild. That's
It'd be hilarious.
So we got to find out. We got to check the numbers and see if viewership is up.
Oh, it's got to be. It's got to be. Just a bunch of idiots like me on the edge of their seat waiting for the next rubber dong to hit the hardwood.
Amen, brother.
Oh, man. On to the serious stuff. Let's talk about India tariffs. You've been keeping track of this. You've been keeping track of this?
This is actually one I have. Oof.
Oh, geez.
This is actually one I haven't been keeping track of, Dan.
Well, there was a 25% initial tariff by Trump, which is
for
enough.
the oil sanctions, right?
Well, yes. So no. So this was the initial tariff. But Trump and his administration say that the 25% initial tariff is a reciprocal tariff for tariffs that have been imposed on us by India, which is fair enough. But a second 25% for doing business with Russia, particularly for buying Russian oil.
Right.
So I look at this and I go, how do you call yourself a free market enthusiast, a capitalist, and support that?
That goes back to protectionism versus free market, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I think it's even dumber than that.
It goes back to what I was saying about Trump's tariffs, which is funny because I think we were talking about this last week when like the Fed came out and they go, well, there's market uncertainty. And Trump's like, what do you mean there's market uncertainty? And it's like, you're putting tariffs up and down on the whim.
And he threatened to fire the guy that did the jobs reports.
No, I think he did fire him.
Oh, did he fire him? I don't even know.
Bell, look that up real quick.
It's like
the guy from the jobs reports. Pretty sure he was fired.
The guy who just collects the numbers.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're fired.
And then someone asked Trump, how can we trust the numbers now? And he's like, how can we trust any of these numbers? That's really going to keep everyone stable.
I mean, I think we know how he trusts them.
He trusts them when he likes them.
When he likes them, yeah, absolutely.
Because he liked that report before. He sure liked that report before it was revised.
But I look at this and I go,
he was bragging about it.
He's the head of labor statistics, by the way.
And the head of labor statistics. Kind of sounds like he's involved in numbers. The hell do I know? But
you know what Trump said to him?
Go outside, nerd. Get out. Go. I ain't got time to be distracted by your worthless chime-ins. Go on.
That's right. But I look at this and I go,
Honey, you're out of your element.
That's not the one. Sorry.
Are you doing this because India is quote unquote supporting Russia's war machine? So it's kind of what it seems like. A war that you said you were going to end on day one and couldn't, and threw a fit and decided to add more sanctions. Very Biden-esque, by the way, when it comes to Russia. I mean, it's not a strange place to go where you say, are you doing this because India's quote unquote supporting the Russian war machine? Because Trump already stated that part of the reason for 35% tariffs on Canada were because Canada recognized Palestine as a state. So we already know you're
actually say that, did he?
I believe he did. Somebody point me out if I'm wrong.
Oh my God. Hey, yeah, ask Bell to look that up. But yeah, no, I honestly, I think what he's doing at the behest of like my fucking stocks is trying to use this as a bargaining chip to kill two birds with one stone. He wants them both to play ball with him. So he's doing something to put a wedge between them and a wedge to piss them both off.
But all it's doing is getting them to be more incentivized to buy Russian oil instead of your oil or your allies' oil, however you want to put it. And it also gives more incentive for BRICS to continue to become stronger, because the entire point of BRICS, regardless of what, Laura Ingraham might tell you, is, or Rachel Maddow for that matter, but the entire point of BRICS is for these nations to find an alternative method of trade without utilizing the U.S. dollar.
Yeah, trying to create a stable dollar over the U.S. dollar. Thanks, Biden. He's the one who fucking did that. He's the one that decided to make everyone go, holy shit, they can do that to anybody? All right, well.
We got something. But all it does is incentivize these things. So if we take a look at some of the industries, again, this is why tariffs aren't good for the country that are imposing them. You're looking at $10.3 billion worth of textiles and apparel that are going to fall under this tariff coming out of India. I hope you don't have a mom and pop t-shirt business, because you're going to be paying more for textiles, or you're going to have to spend the time and money to resource your textiles, to resource your apparel. Gems and jewelry, don't really give a shit about that. But the big one is...
I'm not rich enough for that shit.
Yeah, is pharmaceuticals. $9.8 billion worth of pharmaceuticals coming out of India. As if drugs aren't already expensive.
God, are you serious?
Yes. Yeah, now,
I didn't even think about
days,
medical. I didn't even think about medical.
Those are
That's
the
literally harm. You're literally harming American citizens by doing this.
As if pharmaceuticals aren't already expensive enough. Now, listen, we all know that a huge reason for that is just the pharmaceutical lobby and big pharma just being tied into the government
lobby, the pharmaceutical companies basically funding the FDA, the protectionist policies that don't let you buy medicine outside of the United States. There's a bunch of stuff, Dan.
But it's all because India is engaging in a global free market at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
They're being capitalists. At the end of the day, that's what you're mad at them for.
And here we are supposed to be allies with India, and we should be really trying to, like cozy up with them. It's a young it's a young population. It's on the up and ups of sorts to becoming a more like stable country. It's the biggest democracy in the world. There's labor there. There's all sorts of stuff with India that we get along with, and the sort of religions are kind of similar in a way when it comes to just the basic values.
And how they have a caste system and we have a caste system
in
in the United States.
Yeah. And instead of...
That's not a good thing, Corey.
I know. I was just jokingly agreeing. But it instead of trying to work with them, we're working with a country that is alienating us from the whole world and making us delegitimized as like the moral compass of the world, and doesn't really do too much trade with us, and it doesn't really do much for us, and it's just a thorn in our side.
Oh Christ, the dildo's back!
I think you know what country I'm talking about, Dan.
No, it's something that'll probably get
the
us.
UK.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Does it begin with an I? You will neither confirm nor deny.
No, I said yes, like a pirate.
It's just
I was on an island all weekend, remember? I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my land legs back. You landlubbers I have my sea legs.
Oh man! Speaking of that country that begins with an I, that brings us to Alyssa Slotkin making her rounds. Belle, I sent you the video of Slotkin going on and talking with Crystal and Sagar on Breaking Points. And listen, I know I've come on this show multiple times and lambasted Crystal Ball when I felt like she deserved it, when her TDS came out right after the election, just like everybody else.
Well,
however,
it's pretty justified now, Dad, but some of it is still pretty overblown.
Sure. However,
just keep both hands on the wheel, you know?
Just like with anybody, I will give you credit when you do something good. And Crystal Ball, for those who may not know who she is a liberal. At the end of the day, that's what she is. However, she is a liberal.
Would you consider her a liberal or a yeah,
she's right on the borderline
of
between
liberal
being,
and leftist, yeah.
But yeah, she's right. She sometimes she like dips her toe in the water of the leftism, and then when you're talking about Trump, she kind of pulls her foot back out and gets back in the liberal camp. At least that's the way I always view her. But she will hammer a Democrat when she should. Mm-hmm. Now, this interview I thought was really, really interesting because Alyssa Slotkin was being pushed by her. For those who don't know who Alyssa Slotkin is, we said it at the open of the show that she's one of our senators.
Yeah, from Michigan.
Here in our great state of Michigan. She's not necessarily one of the great parts of this state, but that's neither here nor there. She was basically pushed by her staff to go on with Crystal and Sagar because the Democrats are still doing this weird thing that like the Trump team actually nailed during the election, which is like podcasts are where it's at. I mean, a lot of the credit for that was apparently given to Barron Trump, who's much younger. He's part of the younger generation. He listens to the Joe Rogans and the Theo Vaughns of the world, and he pushed a lot of the Trump administration to make these rounds. And let's be honest, it fucking worked. It worked. The Democrats are still in like this like boomer mindset where they're like, this thing over here,
MSNBC.
Yeah, it seems to be working, but I don't really know why. How do we do that thing? It's like you just go. It's easy. You just go on those shows and talk to those people. John Fetterman seemed to be able to do it because he was on right around the same time with Rogan that Trump and Vance were.
Yeah, that's
John
true.
Fetterman seemed to be able to grasp the concept. I don't know why none of the other Democrats can.
Bernie does it.
Bernie does it. Yep. You can see. I can't even believe like the AOCs of the world aren't going on these shows.
Yeah, that's actually pretty shocking to me that she doesn't really
because
try to make the rounds.
They would not be able to handle a 3-hour conversation with Joe Rogan. I think that's really what it boils down to, because there are some younger. I mean,
well, he does shorter episodes. With Bernie, he did like an hour.
She couldn't handle an hour. She couldn't handle 25 minutes. I don't think.
Just being, you sure? Jamie, look that up.
Yeah, she's not. AOC's not impressive. I'll give Slotkin credit for this. I think she was on with Crystal and Sagar for about 20 minutes. She held her own in a way, in like that typical like normie neoliberal way. But going back to why she went on the show, it almost seemed like, and you can kind of tell in the way that Crystal asks these questions, that Crystal was really, really skeptical that she was there in the first place. Did you get that when you listened to this?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I got this like Crystal kind of knew in the back of her mind, like,
she asked them,
trust why she's here.
I guess she approached them to be on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it was an interesting interview.
And they took advantage of it. I think the part I got here with Belle is about 12 minutes long. A lot of this is about Israel at the beginning, and you will understand why that's important coming up shortly.
She saw Netanyahu go on the Nelk Boys and was like, I'll do a podcast. This is a walk in the park.
Oh my God, those poor, like, I don't really know that much about the Nelk Boys, but I will tell you this, those guys got hammered for that from both sides. And it's like the anti-Israel crowd was like, how could you talk to this guy? They're still doing that thing of like, how could you platform somebody?
Yeah.
Like, why are we still doing that? You don't want to hear what this person has to say.
You got to look at it like it's still listening to that episode. Like if you do it with the right set of ears, it's still valuable because now you know the unfiltered propaganda talking points.
Yeah, and like
you know what I mean? Because we know that BB was just lying about shit the whole time.
Yeah, and they got the same shit that so many other people get, especially like mainstream journalists and that. I don't like that they get hammered like this. I am actually guilty of it from time to time because it upsets me that certain journalists won't ask the right questions. But at the end of the day, I try to let myself calm down a little bit because you should be able, as a listener or a viewer, to read between the lines of what's being said, even if it is just a silly fluff interview. And I don't think the Nelk boys gave Netanyahu like necessarily like a fluff interview. I think what happened was, and I actually think they've come out and said this since, although I could be wrong about that, so don't quote me. I think they came and then they were intimidated. They were intimidated into, you don't ask about this. Here's some stuff you're allowed to ask. Here's some stuff.
Hey, didn't they say when you got questions or something like that?
Like
or
they were given questions. It's like when you got guys in suits with guns standing around you while you're questioning the president or the prime minister of Israel. I can understand why you might be a little intimidated in that scenario and why you might not ask a question that you're quote unquote not supposed to ask. But anyway, this video is, I don't think we're going to play the whole thing, but we'll play a nice chunk of it. This part's about 12 minutes long. And I want you to notice Crystal's demeanor through this because she seems so unbelievably skeptical throughout the whole thing. Go ahead and start it up, Belle.
I've only listened to it. I haven't watched it.
Let's talk about those, calling of balls and strikes, if you will. So first of all, do you accept that Israel has a policy of enforced famine and starvation in the Gaza Strip?
I think I literally put my name on a letter yesterday or last night that says like a policy of starvation. People are starting to starve. And in general, I served in places like Ramadi.
You know what she's doing?
In Fallujah.
She's getting ahead.
I watched in 2004 and 2005, Al-Qaeda terrorists drag American citizens behind a vehicle until they died, right? Like horrible, and then string them up like a lynching.
Okay.
I don't mean to body shame.
We still had a
looks
responsibility
like a
to get aid into Fallujah, despite the fact
like
that we were
Pig.
fighting Al-Qaeda cells in Fallujah. And I have been clear about that.
I don't mean to body shame.
This is a crime against humanity. Forced starvation is a crime against humanity.
The occupying power has a responsibility to get aid into the war zone, period.
So
by the law of war.
So in addition, do you accept that the Israeli plan, as reported by Haaretz, as discussed openly by ministers like Ben-Gvir and Smotrich, as backed by the President of the United States, is forced ethnic cleansing?
I think we have, as recently as yesterday, the Prime Minister of Israel talking about forced migration into certain areas and then potentially out of the country. That is not legal. That is not on any international standard since World War II. And I've been clear about that. So I would
genocide.
ask for a little bit of an open mind.
Part of the literal
what I would
definition.
ask is, listen, I'm a YouTuber. I have my words. That's all I have.
Yeah.
But you're
Just
a United
humble
States
YouTuber,
senator.
Crystal.
Like you're not the president, but you have power. So what are you going to do? Because so far what we've seen, you voted for some of the aid that's been used to massacre children and innocents. You have backed Israel, as far as I can tell, from your voting record at almost every turn. You voted for a definition of anti-Semitism that would, codify anti-Zionism as anti-Semitism. You voted as a member of the House to sanction the ICC for indicting Benjamin Netanyahu, who you just admitted is a war criminal, by your own words. So are you going to join Senator Angus King, Senator Bernie Sanders in saying no more aid to this country that is committing war crimes against innocent civilians?
I think the first thing, if you're asking about what to do with power, and I would offer that right now Democrats own nothing in Washington. So
don't play powerless with me. You're a United States senator. There are things you can do.
In terms of who runs our foreign policy, I just think it's interesting, right, that there was a ton of protests when Democrats were in charge.
There was a protest in Manhattan yesterday.
Okay. I think it's fair to say, just to be honest, that back and forth, like the number of protests that go on now versus before.
Well,
is
they were
very
part of
different.
your political coalition.
Well, that's
right?
not. I mean,
part-
Senator
fair.
Slotkin.
That's fair.
Obviously, I'm here.
Yeah.
I was very upset over the Biden administration policy, and as you can tell, I'm very upset over the Trump administration policy.
Yeah.
Let's.
I guess I paused for us. I
That
know
was,
what I was saying.
that was where it was being good. It was starting to get good.
I know. I don't know what Bell's doing. He didn't even realize it stopped playing.
It's back. It's coming back.
Pressurized campaign to get aid into people who are starving. That to me is the number one, because that's the one is urgent and today.
But yeah, what she's doing right now is getting ahead of it to try to control the narrative that, oh no, I was against what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she went down there. She wants these sound clips. It just didn't go the way she planned.
She is. All right, I'm gonna pull it down for a second, Bell. We can stop it right there. Bell's having some technical difficulties on the other end. But all I'm gonna say is this: she is such a typical congressperson, and by that I mean utterly unimpressive. All of these people are so unbelievably unimpressive, midwit, medium IQ normies that are obsessed with power, that are obsessed with making themselves look good so that they can pursue power. Any of us could do this job. Only unimpressive people run for office at the end of the day. And the way she does that, well, you know, I disagreed with it, and I signed a letter yesterday, and I did some of the things that I was supposed to do to make it seem like I really support Palestinians. But she will not say that Netanyahu is overseeing ethnic cleansing in Gaza. She was very, very careful not to use that phrase or the term genocide when talking about this. She did that whole sort of, if I'm being honest.
I'm telling you,
know,
I think it
no,
might
you're
be a
not.
mix. It might be the mix of the two. But she had a master's degree and became a Middle East analyst.
Am I supposed to be impressed by those credentials?
No. What I'm saying is she's an analyst. She is seeing the writing on the wall that the narrative, because look what just happened right after this. That first flyover of Israel, and now the UK and Canada and everyone is saying, oh yeah, we're pulling back from Israel. Like, kind of fuck these guys, right? And because now there's definitive proof that they can't bolster around that all of our politicians are floundering. Now they're talking like the controlled opposition of the other foreign pack called what's it called? It's called JSOP or hey Bell, look up the other PAC foundation from Israel. It starts with a J. But they're the ones that are trying to appear more liberal, and they're like, no, how about just no more offensive weapons? We're still going to give Israel defensive weapons, just no more offensive weapons.
Slotkin does say that in this interview, by the way.
She does, and she might not be funded by AIPAC, but she's probably funded by the other one. And that's once I figure out the name, we can search it real quick and see if she is or not. That's just me just saying it off the top of my head. I have no proof of it, and I could be wrong. But yeah, those are the talking points from the controlled opposition, so to speak. Just like how there's controlled opposition between the Democrats and the Republicans. And she sees the writing on the wall, and she wants her political career to succeed. And she probably does want it to expand, like you're talking about.
Alyssa Slotkin, by the way, has received support from AIPAC.
Oh, she has.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that was easy to look up.
Not that should surprise anybody.
Most of them have.
But your point about her being an analyst and seeing the writing on the wall and maybe being slightly smarter than some of these other Congress people.
Oh yeah, she's probably filtering through data and you know what I mean? That's what politicians do, but she could probably actually see it pretty decently.
You might be right about that, but here's what makes her just as much of a midwit as the rest of them. What her next fucking move was. Do you know what she did the very next day or the day after that? She went on with Stephen Colbert, who's losing his job. And I don't even care about that part. It doesn't surprise me that Stephen Colbert would have a normie fucking midwit politician like Alyssa Slotkin on. The reason it's a problem is because there was a vote to end arms sales to Israel the same day, and she missed that fucking vote to go on Colbert. These are your Congress people. These are your bullshit artists.
What was the vote for again?
It was to stop arms sales to Israel. She had an opportunity to put her money where her mouth is when she was on breaking points and go and vote on that. So she did this thing where I don't want to vote yes. I also don't want to vote no. These assholes pull this shit all the time. When you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, when they have to sit on a fence between American popularity and what their donors want, they just miss the vote. That it happens all the time with various different things. So don't give me your bullshit, Alyssa Slotkin.
I forget what it was. It was some vote recently that was like something that we were all for, and it was like something the Democrats were voting for, and the Democrats lost because like 4 of the people were too old to be there. Like they had doctor's appointments or something.
That's convenient.
Yeah.
But she got her word in there. She got her word in there on Colbert. It's unreal.
Should we bring it back up? Is it buffered now?
Is it done buffering, Bell? He's busy over there. All right, we can bring it back up.
He says we're good.
Oh, sorry, I accidentally pulled it back down. There we go.
Go ahead and play that. Roll that seed up a bean
versus
footage.
Other type offensive and defensive weapons are different.
So would you support offensive weapons ban? Like, would you stop any offensive aid to Israel?
That certainly, to me, would be a place to look, but I'm not going to cut off a blanket next sale on a defensive weapon that comes through. No.
I also reject that because, for example, if Senator Slotkin, if you were asked to support defensive weapons for Iran, defensive weapons for Russia, you wouldn't back that.
No, but Iran, but
they're defensive. They're just protecting civilians,
bad
right?
guys.
Well, how is it different?
But because Israel's being shot at.
So is
Iran. Yeah. So is Russia.
Ukraine's shooting at Russia right now.
I'm sorry. This is the difference between allies, partners, and adversaries.
Why is it guys? What are they doing right now, which just makes it an ally?
I think allied relationships, just like Lithuania right now, like an allied relationship or a partner relationship is a long-standing relationship of information sharing and diplomacy, and that is to me. It's not
and cash money, baby.
Every day we decide Lithuania is our ally or not. We're allied or not. And sometimes we have big breaks with allies, right? Sometimes we have difficult moments with allies. Sometimes it goes the wrong way with allies. But an allied relationship is a long-term relationship.
It's hard for me to understand why we should ally. Like, I'm sure you believe in or claim to believe in liberal human rights. Why would we ally with a nation that is committing a genocide and live streaming it?
Can I ask literally like this? I think about this from the mirror image way because I do not support the things that Donald Trump is doing, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm an American. So I want other countries to look at America and be like, we can't stand Donald Trump. So we're going to end any longstanding relationship we have with the American people. We're going to cut off any support we give them on information sharing or intelligence sharing. Like, we are not just our elected leaders. And I think that's the thing that's been lost in the conversation.
So B'Tselem and another Israeli human rights organization joined the global consensus, Amnesty International, some 800 scholars. There was a piece from an Israeli scholar in the New York Times in saying this is a genocide. Do you accept, even Marjorie Taylor Greene yesterday came out and said it's a genocide.
No way she's going to say that.
And if you do, what responsibility does a United States senator have for this is a nation that, we send every year billions of dollars to aid that you have, voted for and supported. Like, what responsibility does a United States senator have
to throw a dildo on the desk
genocide and to stop genocide that we see ongoing?
We have a responsibility up till today to ensure that food is getting in.
Is it
so
a genocide?
People don't starve. I don't know that I'd use that term, but it is it is violating the law of war.
Why don't you use the term though?
Because I think,
Bell,
to me,
pause it real quick.
Do I think it's ethnic cleansing?
So she just said, I think it's ethnic cleansing. That is literally part of the definition of genocide.
Yeah.
It's one of the 4 tenets of what is a genocide, and starvation is another. So she's already admitted to 2 out of 4.
Right.
Come on.
And so, her being on here and then going on Colbert, right? It's already pilfering through like things like Chat GPT and stuff. Because I just Googled like what are her policies and positions just so I can be refreshed a little bit while we talk about her. And under foreign defensive policy, considered a moderate Zionist, supports Israel but has voiced concern about civilian casualties in Gaza and called for strategic adjustments. Told you that. Chat GPT breaking news. Chat GPT says Senator Alyssa Slotkin is a moderate Zionist.
Oh shit, buddy! I gotta dig a little deeper.
How much time we got left on this, Bell? We're about halfway through. Go ahead and keep rolling it. There's some good stuff in there.
Which is what I think of in genocide. I don't know if it meets that definition.
They're
But
announcing
didn't you
it.
say it earlier that it was ethnic cleansing? You said that they wanted to force it. I mean, this is open from the Israeli government. Like they're saying it. Their
And from
Minister
Trump,
of National
too.
Security. They come out and they're like, we
know.
don't need shells. We
We know,
need
Chris.
shells, not food. And we need to encourage migration.
know.
Like they're saying it.
You're not going to get me to
Yeah.
support what the Israeli
Yeah.
government is saying right now. I think the point I was trying to make is it's not just about like we have relationships with nations over time, regardless of who their leaders are. We have really tough moments. We have easier moments, but that doesn't. So I'm not willing to say that like I hate everything ever.
Sure,
into
but
the,
so
the future.
even if you accept that they're committing a genocide, you still wouldn't cut off their aid.
I think that defensive aid and offensive aid are different things, and I think at this point,
So
what
if
they're
Nazi
doing
Germany,
every single day,
if
is
Nazi
She's a hell of a
Germany said we
politician.
want
I'll give her
defensive
credit for
aid,
that.
I mean, it's
Come on.
just you have to see where they're all weapons that are being shipped. You know, in
They're
another
not using
context,
the weapons that they're using right now. I mean, to be honest, if you look at what's
be
happening on
honest.
the ground, the military part of this conflict is, for the most part, over. What
No.
they are doing,
No.
what they
I mean,
are doing
Senator-
every single day
Senator-
is around
Yeah, when
aid.
Melissa
They
said-
are
I mean, when
hurting
the
people
senator
around
said
slaughtered
to be
over
honest,
1,000
they're not gonna be
people
honest.
who were starving people just
But
trying to get aid.
That is
I
not
know you
high,
know this.
That's not high intensity bombs. That's not the weapons that that we were talking about 2 years ago. It's just not. I'm sorry.
it's the
Every
gun
single day,
they're
the
trying to
military
ban at
reports that I
home.
read, they are traditional. Like this is a military that has a bad strategy. It is not the bombs that we were seeing 2 years
And
ago.
It's not a military that has
Will
a
you
bad
pause it really
strategy.
quick?
The strategy is
Isn't that crazy that all of these Democrats who are trying to ban guns at home and try to ban American citizens from owning firearms constantly vote for bills that put more aggressive firearms in the hands of people in other countries?
No, you can say the word, Corey, into the hands of terrorists.
That too.
And I ain't just talking about Al Qaeda, and I ain't just talking about the Taliban, and I ain't just talking about ISIS.
There's some Cubans in there. There's some cartel in there. There's some Israelis in
Well,
there. and
Corey,
there's some-
you know what the Democrats would say to that, right? Well, those are weapons of war. Those are the hands they belong in. To those,
don't you think they're in a war?
Yeah, to those moral militaries overseas,
Right, but we all want our
protecting
guns
American freedom.
to prevent war.
What a wild concept.
We just want to LARP on the weekends.
to believe that?
We just want to LARP on the weekends in our camo. Leave us alone.
I mean, the double speak. This is what makes her so unimpressive. Who is buying this bullshit? Raise your hand if you buy this bullshit. Go ahead, Belle.
Belle,
You
put your
keep
hand
going.
down.
or starvation
That
and
is-
ethnic
that is
cleansing.
not a-
That
flipping
is
us
their
off.
strategy, and they're accomplishing it very effectively with the full backing of the United States government, including sadly Democrats.
Well,
And so, a couple more questions that I know you have to run. I'm curious why you
She gotta go-
condemned
she gotta go to
Rashida Tlaib
Colbert.
for using the rally chant, from the river to the sea, something she said for her evokes equal rights, and you have not condemned Randy Fine who said that Gazans should, quote, starve away,
Oh, that
who
fat
floated
fuck.
that the Gaza Strip should be nuked, who called Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib and Soran as well, called them Muslim terrorists. Where is the concern over him?
I have no problem condemning Randy Fine, who I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know who that person is. I have no problem condemning someone who talks like that.
Senator, we have to ask your last question because the your staff is telling us. Do you think AIPAC should register as a foreign lobby?
I don't know the answer to that. I think
seriously
that
overweight.
I know plenty of people.
Yeah, the answer is yes.
Who think they should.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
It's
don't.
kind of a cop-out answer, don't you think?
I literally, I just guess I'd have to look at the definition. I certainly have had my tough moments with that organization. And
so you stop accepting their funding?
You got to get your facts straight. I have not been endorsed by AIPAC. I have not. I'm sorry.
Well,
I was the
Track
first
AIPAC
Jew
would disagree with
to
that,
the
Senator.
Senate that was not endorsed by any Jewish group. AIPAC, J Street.
You've been the recipient of their funds.
In 2018, when I first ran, people who were members, yes, but I've not been endorsed since then. And I just got to be honest, like, I think that this is where facts really matter. I've had very, very difficult conversations with my colleagues in that organization and made a choice back in 2021. So that was the first time I was up for re-election. So I understand that there's a sort of, like, again, cornered position, but to me, like, I call balls and strikes as someone who served in the Middle East.
I have one more question I have to ask you.
You cunt.
You know, we do the show. I really do my best to try to uphold, like, you know, basic human rights, Palestinian humanity, oppose the killing of innocent civilians wherever that happens. And I have to tell you, like, I feel really guilty that I'm not doing enough. I think all the time about, I'm a mom. I think all the time about those moms who can't feed their babies.
Oh,
those
Crystal,
babies
come
are
on. Don't make
starving
this about
to
you.
death.
Come on.
No, that's,
I just want to
when you have
know,
kids,
like,
it actually
you're
does
a United States Senator. You did vote for some of the bombs that were dropped on refugee camps. When kids have been sniped in the head, tents firebombed, people set on fire. The entire Gaza Strip turned into rubble. And now we're seeing these emaciated bodies of babies starving to death every day. And I'm like,
know what you can do.
Does it eat you up? Does it eat you up? Do you think, like, what more could I do? Do you regret any of your votes? Do you
let me
regret
tell
any
you what I
sort
was
of
working on this
complicity?
morning. A group of Jewish rabbis and Muslim community leaders came together with a proposal that we are working on just getting, like, if we can't get other aid in, at least get baby formula and nutritional supplements for children in. Let that be kind of a green light, never has a problem. No one's trying to eat baby formula other than a baby, right?
Come on,
that is the
you
proposal that I've been
expect me to
working
believe
on
that?
and this morning.
I eat baby formula all the
in terms
time.
of what we're trying to do, there's not a moment that goes by that this isn't something that I'm working on and something that my own community, not online, but my own community has practical things that they want to do. They're willing to raise the money. They're willing to buy the formula. They're willing to do whatever we need to do to get it shipped in. That's how I spend my time.
But
That
you're
is
not
how
willing
I
to cut
spend-
off aid to Israel.
To me, that to me is the most effective thing that I can do today.
This is not a question. Your staff is telling us you absolutely have to go. So we appreciate your time. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
coming.
Senator.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Okay.
Where was that? Wasn't even the whole thing.
No, it wasn't. It was just the latter part. They didn't talk about the Epstein stuff or any of that in that clip. But that was the part that I thought that was the part that was most relevant. Because she missed the vote. She missed the vote about sending more arms.
When she was
offensive arms
when
to
she was
Israel.
saying all
to
that
go on
stuff, you
Colbert.
know what she was expecting at the very end when she was like, we got the people that are going to raise the money and everything. And it's just. But instead, what she got was.
Oh, God, I only heard the end of that. It sounded worse. It sounded like one of those, like,
God, so,
wet farts into the toilet bowl.
that soundbite just is so gross. It sounds like someone having a wet fart into a megaphone.
Yeah. Oh, God. What? Well, and here's the thing. She did that thing where she's like, oh, we're going to send the aid and we're working on getting more aid and we're working on getting more aid and we're working on getting more aid. And then you have Israel talking about how, oh, we've sent enough food in to feed Gaza for 2 years. But then you have guys like Tony Aguilar, who was also on Breaking Points, who was on with Tucker Carlson. So it's not like we're talking about a partisan guy here who is one of the whistleblowers who's been to Gaza, by the way, on a, what was it? What's the word I'm looking for? A tourist visa to circumvent any legality.
Isn't that wild that they were giving people who were contractors there to like shoot at people?
And
tourist visa.
This is a guy who explains, like, it doesn't matter how much food you bring into Gaza if you're not distributing it the proper way, like the way the UN always used to do it. Not that we're like lovers of the UN or anything.
Yeah, and you can bring all the food in, but just stop these weird little like sacrifices of 1 or 2 people every single time someone comes to get food.
No, Corey, the way that Tony Aguilar, I don't know if you've heard him describe this, but the way he described it is they have like 4 drop zones to feed all of these people when there should be hundreds to feed these people. And he said the way he explained it was, imagine a Walmart on Black Friday in 2004 where they take all the TVs and they drop them all in the middle of the store. But now imagine that with millions of people and fucking food. And then you wonder why there's chaos when these people are trying to get food, and why, maybe even some of the more benevolent folks that are there delivering the food feel like they might have to shoot somebody. You don't think that's by design? Come on.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. That is a great metaphor. Just Black Friday at a Walmart.
Well, that was Tony Aguilar's comparison, not mine. So give him the credit. I do recommend everybody check out both of those episodes, though. Tony Aguilar on Breaking Point.
Yeah, it's sad. You do when you see, especially after you have a kid, man, and then you see someone like a kid that's like your kid's age, for no other reason than just, I couldn't even tell you, just hate, fear, whatever it is, whatever type of emotion someone's trying to use to justify these actions. It's fucking sad, man.
And there's been smear campaigns against this guy, as you can imagine, because he's told the story about this little boy named Amir that thanked him heavily, kissed his hands for his help, which I didn't know this, but I guess in Muslim culture, a kiss on the hands is like a serious fucking sign of respect and love that you don't just give to anybody. And
I don't think it's necessarily Muslim culture. I think it's like Arabic culture.
Arabic culture, whatever it is. They're all the same. Yeah.
No, because there's 2 different girls at work that, like, if I did that to one of them, they probably would be very, very, like, appreciative of it. And then the other one would be very, very probably offended.
That was a joke, Corey. I don't actually think they're all the same. But yeah, he talks about this little boy named Amir that was killed.
Come on now, you expect me to believe that?
In front of him, and there's supposedly 2 pictures of this little kid that they're trying to utilize to say that he's still alive, but Tony Aguilar has already debunked that, stating that he took both pictures, and they weren't even the same kid. They don't even look that similar, and they're at 2 different drop sites.
Well, they all look the same to me, brother.
And actually, from what I haven't tested this personally, but if you plug the images into even fucking Google image search, the AI will tell you that it's not the same kid, and that it wasn't even at the same drop site. So this is what they do. This is what they do to try and cover for their atrocities. They just call everybody a liar. And Tony Aguilar doesn't appear to be any like a politically motivated. I mean, he's a military guy at the end of the day. He's gone on a leftier show, and then he's gone on Tucker Carlson to tell the exact same story because he doesn't really care how the message gets out. So, I recommend everybody checks it out. What else do we have tonight, Corey? Yeah, don't vote for Alyssa Slotkin. I don't know why I say that. Vote for her if you want to. I don't think the alternative in any situation is going to be any better. So it doesn't really matter if you want to go do that.
Speaking of Alyssa Slotkin, because you're kind of talking about insider baseball for the state of Michigan, because anyone on the outside is going to be fucking voting for her anyways, unless
doesn't
she
care.
But you think Mike Duggan has a shot?
For what? For governor?
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
Me and Bell were talking about that yesterday. Like,
he's got a D next to his name.
He's running as an independent.
Oh, that's true. He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Then that's going to make it a little bit more difficult. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult.
It might not.
Well, no.
Because we're talking about like his political faults are very, very insider baseball.
Yes, they are, and nobody cares about that.
And anyone that he's super relevant to is the biggest chunk of the population, in our state. And they all go to the places that he made nicer. So everyone's going to be like, well, he did that for Detroit. He could do it for the state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The white people in Metro Detroit absolutely love the guy because he made Detroit a place to go again.
What about what he didn't do for the fucking neighborhoods, just like every other goddamn mayor before?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's insider baseball right there. The people that are in the Metro don't go to the neighborhoods. They go to the city.
You want to talk about this this Russiagate situation? Because I have reached a new place where I think there's, instead of a 0% chance, I think there's like a 10% chance something could actually happen here. And I'm really bummed out about this because Russiagate is extraordinarily important. And holding the people accountable that were responsible for it is super important. And that bums me out for the obvious reason that we know that a sitting administration weaponized intelligence to try to fix an election and frame a candidate and later sitting president for treason. That's one reason why it's a bummer. But the other reason why it's a bummer is because it will and already is being used as a distraction from the Epstein situation. Right?
Yeah, the timing is impeccable.
It's both things. It's extraordinarily convenient while also being important for the Trump administration. But Pam Bondi earlier, was it late last week? I can't remember the exact day, but directed evidence to be given to a grand jury, a step I didn't think we would ever see. Grand jury, keep in mind, grain of salt. They're secretive. They're behind closed doors. We'll see what comes out of it. But most cases that are presented to grand juries do result in indictments. That's key. And that leads to the next question. And this is going to be the thing that really gets my eyebrows to raise and my ears to perk up, is who gets indicted from this? Is it going to be low-level intel people that just kind of climb in there to fall on the grenade?
I'm sure that they already have someone there lined up to fall on the grenade.
Or will we actually see the Brennans, the Comeys, and the Hillary Clintons indicted in this? That's what's going to tell me everything that I want.
They've been subpoenaed. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if subpoenaed, but they've been, what's it called? It's like essentially a subpoena when Congress wants to hear you talk.
Brought in for testimony? I don't know. I don't know what the word is. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Not indicted,
but yeah. Who do these indictments come down on? That's what's going to get my ears to perk up a little bit.
It won't stick in any of the big names. There probably will be some lower level heads that roll. Because we talk about on the show all the time. We're not fans of Trump. We're not particularly fans of Biden either. We're not really fans of any politician that we have offered to us right now. They all have their flaws. They all have their skeletons in their closet. Me and Dan have been ran through the trenches and having hope for someone and watching them fail us to the point where you just don't meet your heroes and you don't have any heroes. And we're not going to see any of the big heads roll, right? But what Obama and Hillary and all of them did, like if this was when was Watergate? 72?
Yeah, early 70s, 74.
This would be
74.
All over the news.
I mean,
the only reason it's not, right, but it's not like that because there's so much more other news. Like that's way more.
You're talking about it would dominate the news cycle on its own.
This rightfully should. We're talking about the intelligence agency being weaponized by the executive branch to try to manipulate a fucking election.
See, I would argue that
someone we hated
Epstein
against
and this
someone
should
we
probably both
hated.
dominate the news. But yeah, I know, I see your point. It's funny that you mentioned that because I mean, I couldn't believe this, but then I could believe it. You actually had a Washington Post piece yesterday, or was it earlier today? Sorry, my days run together. Recently. I didn't even need to read the piece. This is one of those, like you often shit on people for like just trusting the headlines. But then occasionally there's one where you go,
actually, that's funny you say that because I just read
to,
today that 75% of Americans only read the headlines.
Yeah, I know. And it's brutal.
That's kind of shitty, isn't it?
But there's occasionally there's
audio.
Occasionally, yeah, I know. especially on Substack. But I read this headline and it just said something about, I had it in front of me, but I lost it. But it said something about Trump dangerously weaponizing his Justice Department. And we were already warned about that, right? Like the liberal media forever, during the election cycle, how he's going to weaponize the Justice Department. And we made fun of it because we're at that point where it's like, how do you expect anybody to give a shit if Trump is weaponizing his Justice Department? Even
almost in the same ways that the Biden administration did, just like
right. You set the precedent for that. And the only difference is that what Trump's Justice Department is going after has been all but proven to be real shit. But even if it was, but I'm just talking about the Russiagate case. I'm just talking about the Russiagate case. Yes, okay. I'm just talking about the Russiagate case. That's we mostly know what happened there. We don't know a lot of the details, but we mostly know what happened there. My point is this: even if it were phony, even if everything that the Obama administration did at the end of his term, even if Russiagate was real and it wasn't a hoax, right? Let's move to an alternate universe where Russiagate was real and Trump was trying to get information on the Clinton campaign and colluding with the Russians. Let's just pretend in an alternate universe that actually happened. You still don't have a fucking leg to stand on. You still don't have a leg to stand on because, yeah, you would have gotten him on the Russiagate stuff, but all of the other ridiculous indictments, all the ones that he was actually convicted of, right? The idiotic New York case, the 39 felonies or whatever the number was, because the laws were changed to turn his misdemeanor, the same misdemeanor that was committed 39 times, into a felony. All of the combined lies, even if Russiagate were real, you still don't have a leg to stand on with this. Of course, let's be honest, if Russiagate were actually real, you probably would have had grounds for even Republicans to vote to convict, to impeach. So maybe that was a bad way to put it. But let's just say part of Russiagate were real.
Yeah, where is the line? Because it's not just blocking a pedophile list that you're probably on.
Sorry, Democrats, you have set the precedent for weaponizing intelligence and your Justice Department. Do I like that Trump goes out and does that too? Russiagate aside, but all of the other ways in which he's kind of gone after his political opponents, trying to use the legal system, I don't love it, but I can't sit here and go, it's really fucked up that he did that, but not say the same thing about you.
Right.
Here we are.
Because perfect example right now, the Trump administration, they're doing the same thing. Like they campaigned on ending wokeism and identity politics and all of this and all of that, right? And just recently there was some little, like, it was barely even a scuffle at a gym at a college. I forget which college it was, but a guy was wearing an IDF shirt. You probably heard about this. A guy was wearing an IDF shirt, and this girl, he gets the girl on video. I don't know what all the context is before, but he gets the girl on video saying, "Fuck Israel, free Palestine. You could put this on FSU Barstool. I don't give a fuck." And she shoves him. And now the DOJ is looking into it as a potential hate crime.
It's an assault.
And it's just, it's fucking stupid. It's literally when you would see that same type of shit, would it be someone like yelling "All lives matter" at Black Lives Matter groups and agitating them, and then getting in a scuffle and them getting pinned with a like race baiting or a hate crime and stuff, because that shit was happening on the other end. And this is what the Trump administration said they were going to end, and then they just didn't.
Safe spaces for Israeli students on college campuses, changing the definition. Changing the definition of what anti-Semitism actually is, trying to get rid of BDS laws. Like,
right.
Yeah,
now replace that with any other minority, and the Republicans would be having a fit. It's not that I don't think that these people should be protected if they're a minority. I think that everybody in this country should have equal rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But what pisses me off is the hypocrisy.
Yeah,
the worthy and unworthy victim aspect of it. I would wish, in my personal opinion, I would wish neither side did it.
That, and
if an individual does attack somebody because of the color of their skin and stuff like that, then yeah, you obviously, that's a hate crime. You get convicted for that. But
what do I always say on this show? Americans love authoritarianism. Americans love tyranny, provided you are going after the people on the other political side. It's all that matters. We love it. We love tyranny in this country.
Madison warned against this in Federalist Papers 10, right?
Sure.
Way back in the day. Back before the printing press was made. Wait, actually, no. When was the printing press? It would have been after,
like 14 something.
Are you sure?
Yeah, Martin Luther, bro.
You sure about that?
I'm gonna Google that.
It was long before Madison's time. I know that much. Yeah. So I don't know how we got onto the tyranny discussion, but we all know that Americans love it.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I told you. I fucking told you. How do you think Martin Luther came to power? How do you think he grew a church from nothing to take on the mighty Catholics? Come on.
Come on now. You expect me to believe that?
You sure about that?
How do you feel about these Trump accounts, Corey? I know you've looked into this a little bit.
Trump accounts.
Yeah, this sort of quote unquote backdoor to privatized Social Security.
Oh, I actually don't know anything about that.
No, I gotta do a way better job of organizing my notes. Here
yeah,
we go.
You do.
Shit, buddy, I gotta dig a little deeper.
Trump accounts refer to a newly created federal savings program for newborns.
Oh, that. Yeah, okay. I didn't realize that it was branded as Trump accounts. Jesus Christ.
Quote unquote Trump accounts. President Trump's 2020, it's part of the big, beautiful bill.
Yeah, it's $1,000 in every account.
Like it's officially
to like an ETF or something like that.
Yeah, it's officially framed as a way to promote financial literacy and long-term wealth building. The accounts have sparked controversy due to their potential implications for Social Security. Again, sparking controversy for the wrong fucking reasons. But we'll get into that. So the eligibility is any U.S.-born child, citizen-born child, which would be, I guess, any U.S.-born child, between 2025 and 2028. Obviously, that would just include Trump's term. Initial contribution of $1,000 from the federal government deposited into a tax-deferred investment account. Parents can contribute up to $5,000 annually. Employers and charities may also contribute. The investment structure includes diversified portfolios tied to U.S. stock indexes. Here's the problem with this. Kind of sounds like another tax, doesn't it? Obviously, it's not going to show up on your pay stub, but
so $1,000, what's the growth supposed to be for that? What are they?
It's based on United States stock indexes. So essentially, what you're doing
in a quick little thing, and that comes out to $23K over 65 years.
So, okay, whatever. But what you're doing essentially is you're taking $1,000 of federal money. That's our money. That's your money. That's my money. That's Bell's money. That's all of our listeners' money. And just handing it out to every baby that's born. Kind of sounds like socialism, doesn't it?
Sure
Just
does.
a little bit. Kind of sounds a little bit like socialism. Also, I have a much better solution. And it's the solution that I always give when the federal government talks about handing out money. Just let people keep more of their own fucking money. Just let mom and dad that have the newborn child keep their own money and start their own account for this child. Because what do we know? We know that the federal government, that the returns on your Social Security are not nearly as high as if you were just financially literate and invested your own money. This is why Social Security is bullshit in the first place.
If you just did it, if you did an investment in the American stock market, like a grain stock, like it'd basically be like S&P and all that stuff, right? It's on average of a 10.4 return. You'd have $620,000.
You think you get that out of your Social Security checks? I mean, maybe if you live to be very, 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 very old, sure.
Yeah, because you might get what, 2K? 2K times 20 years? That's what, 40K? No.
And you can't, you're not allowed to say that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme because you get yelled at by boomers and older Gen Xers. But that's part of the fucking trap. They get you in there. And what do you say when you reach retirement age, Corey? What do all the retirees or the people that are close to retirement age say? I paid into that. I want my money out. They all say it. Older Gen Xers are starting to say it. People that were shitting on Social Security when they were young. Who knows, Corey? If Social Security is still around, we might be saying that in whatever it's going to be now, 30-some years.
I'd bet $10 in my left nut that we will.
And I don't want to. If the government came to me tomorrow and said, we'll give you all your money back that you paid into Social Security, tax-free, no interest, I'd take that deal in 2 seconds.
Oh, I would. I'd buy a house with
it. I bet you would, Corey. I bet you would. But they just keep being able to take this money from us because we get old enough and then we need it again. You're relying on the government in that situation. Which generation is going to be the generation that bites the bullet? Because somebody's going to have to bite the bullet.
I don't want it to be me, brother.
You don't have enough money going in and you have too much coming out. Now, as generations get smaller, that could flip, which kind of is an argument for downsizing the population. People are going to accuse me of being a eugenicist now. But yeah, this is it's just another bad policy. It's another bad policy, and it's a little bit socialist coming out of the Trump administration. I think we can all agree there.
Yeah, I can agree.
But Trump did it, so it's good, or it's bad because Trump did it. You know what's funny? If I didn't say that Trump was putting this policy in, like that it was Trump accounts, if I came on the air instead said, you know, there was a policy that's a little bit older, and it never went through, and it never really made the media, and I gave you everything that I just said, do you think Trump supporters would be a fan of it?
Absolutely not.
I didn't think so. Here we are.
Here we are. Yeah, so I mean, if you're getting $2K a month in Social Security for 20 years, that's $480K. But you put a hell of a lot more money into it.
And nobody's getting $2K a month in Social Security.
Right.
Nobody.
So then divide it by 2, do 1,000, right?
I don't
240. Yeah. But if you put $1,000 into an account and with an average of a 10.4% growth annual rate over 65 years, you get $680K.
It's ridiculous.
The idea is not a bad idea. Is it socialistic? Yeah, maybe a little bit, but it's more efficient than.
All right, so I was wrong. So retired workers' average monthly benefit is just over $2,000.
Okay.
Disabled workers, $1,582. Survivor benefits, $1,571. Supplemental security income SSI is a little under $800. So on average monthly payment for retired workers is $2,000. And here's the thing. By the time we're retired, it's going to be lower than that, and shit's going to cost more. It's going to be nothing. It's going to be nothing. What about the Orwellian update out of the Trump administration? This seems like one of those stories you're kind of distracted from because of like Russiagate and Epstein, and not that those things aren't important. But they're kind of the bigger stories. You have Trump working with Palantir to start a private healthcare tracking system. I shouldn't say Trump, the Trump administration. Working with Palantir and who else is involved in this? I had it in front of me. Palantir, the CDC, and the Cleveland Clinic to work on a private healthcare tracking system. Now, what are they doing here? They are framing surveillance as healthcare. This is all pretty obvious to me. The state using your health information, a big database of all of your healthcare. But you know what they're going to use it for, Corey? They're going to use it to help you. You know that. They're going to use it to make you healthier. They're going to track your biomarkers. They're going to let you know you're going to have a little screen in your house that's going to go, your cholesterol's a little high, Corey. You should probably take your statins. You need a reminder to take your statins. You need a reminder to take your medication. Corey, you've consumed a little bit too much red meat this week, it tells me by your blood markers. Gonna have to cut down on the red meat next week. Your red meat allowance has been reduced this week. You're gonna have to buy a few more vegetables.
You get to eat some chicken. Oh my God.
Make sure we get those biomarkers down. And it's so obvious how illegal this would be. This should be based on the Constitution. Look no further than privacy implications. I looked this up earlier today, and I actually read these amendments in the Constitution to make sure that I wasn't losing my mind. But there are actually privacy implications in the 1st, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 14th Amendments. 5 different amendments to the Constitution with privacy implications. Not to mention HIPAA violations. But this is a great idea, Corey. Yeah, the government will be able to tell you when you're not being very healthy. They're not going to use your health weaknesses against you in any way. That would no good benevolent government would do that. Right? No, we wouldn't do that in a democracy. That can't happen. You have anything to add?
Well, I was just
cover it all.
So the government does a government already sells data it collects on us.
Sure.
You know, the census data stuff is sold to private companies, the NOAA weather data, SEC filings, market data. What's to stop the government from selling health data once it collects it?
Nothing. Sell it to their buddies in the pharmaceutical business?
Well, no, what would probably happen is you'd probably have a lobbyist or someone from the pharmaceutical companies just run for office and then just share the information.
And then leave and get paid 7 figures to rejoin the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah.
The revolving door.
We all love
so much. This is absolutely Orwellian.
Dude, the whole Palantir thing that they're doing is Orwellian. That's just what kills me, dude, with the duopoly of the us versus them in our politics. Again, Republicans were losing their fucking minds when the Biden administration, and rightfully so, they were rightfully losing their minds over the Biden administration trying to institute a Department of Misinformation. Basically meaning the government is going to dictate whether something is true or false for you. Don't do your research. The government's going to tell you. And they backed down from that one. But then Trump, not to be outdone, decides to silo all of the data that the government collects under one roof with Palantir. And no one sees that as an issue, like what Edward Snowden was talking about with the NSA and everyone spying on you constantly. Like, we have constitutional rights for a reason. And when people just willingly give them up, we lose them. That's why we're such advocates for free speech on this show. Even when people say the most vile, nasty things, like, fuck you, dude, you're a fucking idiot, but you still have a right to say it because.
Yeah. And right now we're at a spot where it's already bad enough that the data is collected and sold, but it gets exponentially worse when you start centralizing it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, when you start centralizing anything, money, data,
government,
it gets worse and worse and worse. But we sit here and we allow all of these things to keep becoming centralized because we're gaslit into believing our neighbors are the enemy, our Republican neighbor or our Democrat neighbor, and we'll support the tyranny that shits all over them. And they'll support the tyranny that shits all over us. Meanwhile, all we're fucking doing is continuing to give power to a centralized government. Slowly but surely, every election cycle.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like, Americans, I don't think they grasp the concept of authoritarianism or fascism, regardless of whatever side they are on the aisle.
They don't even know what those words mean.
They just both know that they hate them, but they only hate like 50% of the word, and then the other half hates the other 50%. And I think that's the only reason why we're not already in an authoritarian and fascist state.
You trust your mother every night to fix your hot pockets and make sure your Game Boy is turned on.
I do. And it's like, just because there's just the other side is just stop getting it because they only disagree with half of it, and it just happens to be the half that the other side is going after.
And then they don't even realize when the power that they gave to their team is used
doing
against them when they
it's the ratchet effect.
Yeah. Yep. It's not difficult, but people got to go to work, Corey. People got to go to work. What can I say? That's why we're here. All right, you want to get to your TikToks? Bell's probably got those ready to go. He looks like he's falling asleep out there. Bell looks like he's on a ring cam right now outside.
Yeah, he's on my porch.
He's doing the show from He's doing the show from Corey's porch. All right, let's get those TikToks up.
So we got another Sydney Sweeney one.
Oh boy. It didn't die, by the way. I thought it was going to die in a week, and it didn't die. It didn't die.
It for some reason it's still going.
The WNBA dildo thing did help. That's why I think America needs this.
You gotta try to get away from this dildo.
It's from this guy. He's always making these pretty funny videos, pretty good videos. So I saw the Sydney Sweeney one, and I appreciated it. Go ahead and roll that, Bell.
I'm listening.
Sydney Sweeney and American Eagle are racist. How is Sydney Sweeney racist? In their new ad, they made a double entendre about how she has good genes, like good genetics.
She does have good genes. In fact, she has a great pair of genes.
No, they're saying white people are genetically superior.
No, they're just saying that she's hot. She just happens to be white. They're not saying only white people can be hot. They're saying, hey, this person wearing these genes, they have good genes. They're hot.
But why choose her? Why couldn't it have been a beautiful woman of color?
Because she's a popular actress right now that is very willing to objectify herself for profit. Let me ask you something. If they did choose a woman of color, and instead of saying that she has good genes, she has better genes, what would you do?
I would say, yas, queen, slay. Absolutely. Be better than everyone, and that's on fleek.
Okay, but the example that I just gave you is a lot closer to being racist. Does that not bother you?
Only white people can be racist.
So that would actually be racist.
I think these videos are funny. Like, you also have to be like, all right, this guy's making up a scenario in his head, right, and doing this. Yeah. But it's kind of just a reflection of like all of the conversations you see on social media.
There is sort of that that I don't know the right term to use, but like an admission that shouldn't exist from like anybody who's upset about this, saying that like only white people can be beautiful. Like there is kind of that underlayment of that. It's like, yeah, that actually sounds more racist than the actual ad itself.
Right.
I don't know if you saw the one about the that was put up by, she was like a New Jersey teacher, and she was talking about how like this Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ad gave her childhood trauma from being a brown girl that grew up in a white neighborhood. And like,
people need to fucking chill, dude.
I saw that and I just went, I mean, do you want to talk about coming from a position of privilege? Because not only was what she was saying ridiculous, that like it would draw up trauma, but also the woman that was saying these things was gorgeous. Like, she was really pretty. Like, did you really have that problem? Did you really have that problem?
Right.
Because I don't know about you, but I think women of all shapes and sizes are gorgeous.
That's a fact.
Well, within reason. All shapes, sizes, and colors. Like, I can find you a woman who is 50 to 70 pounds overweight and be like, yeah, she's actually really pretty. It's not to say that all the women that are 50 to 70 pounds overweight are pretty. It's not to say that a woman who has a perfectly normal, what would be considered hot BMI is gorgeous.
Right.
But I can find women in almost any demographic. I cannot think of a single like demographic of women where I would go, yeah, they're all disgusting. Can you?
No,
I didn't think so.
All right, Bell. On to the next one. This next one, it's a conspiracy, and honestly, we might have to dig a little deeper into this one.
Oh boy!
Oh shit, buddy! I gotta dig a little deeper.
Go ahead and play that.
What's your take?
We're drinking too much water.
100% disagree. I think we are not drinking enough water.
No. If you look broad scope of history, society's never been this hydrated. Things have never been worse.
Okay, there is a correlation between how much water we're drinking and how bad things have gotten. Maybe. I wasn't around back then, but I feel like...
Cancer's up. Mental illness is up. Drink water, that's the solution. You know, and it's not just any water. You got to go get some overpriced reservoir.
How do you feel about the tap?
I'm down with the tap.
You're down with the tap?
Yeah, drink the tap.
Okay, I like this now. You're down with the tap. You're not down for the bottles.
They'll bottle it and sell it back to your ass and tell you to drink it. You've got to drink it. It's your responsibility.
The people that are telling you to drink more water are actually selling you water.
Yeah, drink my water.
Okay, I like this a lot now. Now I'm in. Because you know what I like? A glass of New York City tap.
Yeah, it's what you're made of.
Wow. That is so prolific. That's beautiful. I'm now agreeing. Americans are overindulging themselves.
Welcome to the boat.
I think I'm so in.
Yeah.
Because there's parts in the world that are like, we actually just don't, like, we're not even going to drink a lot.
I mean, have you seen a camel? They've got their humps. I got lumps.
In America, they're like, drink gallons. I think the recommended dose.
See, I microdose it.
We're drinking too much water.
Cancer's up. Mental illness is up. We don't need all this water. But you need to see how thirsty you can get.
We don't know how thirsty we can get because we're always wet.
You have no idea the threshold.
You like getting wet?
I've been there.
They say drink responsibly.
I'll get in
Can't
there.
apply to all things.
It should apply to all things.
Would you binge milk?
Nope.
No.
Would you binge water?
You shouldn't.
Shouldn't.
In fact, you could die. It ain't the worst thing that can happen to you. Cancer's up. Mental illness is up. Drink responsibly.
It's like, actually, there might be a correlation there. We are the most hydrated population, and everything's going to shit.
I'm going to tell you this. It's so funny because he says he's down with the tap, but RFK Jr. will sit there and tell you that the fluoride in the drinking water is making everybody retarded or whatever the hell his argument is. I will say this, though. I don't know if you've ever had the tap water from, like, Louisville, Kentucky. The water that comes out of the water that comes out of the limestone in that area, they're like known for it. It's like famous. It's actually fucking delicious.
Well,
It's
there
the
goes that
best
theory, I guess.
It's the best water I've ever had.
Better than the Great Lakes?
Hell yeah. Dude, that limestone water, it's limestone filtered water, naturally filtered through that limestone. It is so good. It's delicious. I guarantee you, my folks from Louisville out there will tell you the same thing. Where are Kentuckyites at? Tell Corey how right I am. Y'all have the best water.
Is that the proper term?
Kentuckyites? I don't fucking know.
slur?
I don't even know. I don't know if we're Michiganians or Michiganders. Everybody fucking says it different. So I
think
don't
it's
know.
Michigander.
That's one side of the argument.
All right, so this next video, it's kind of just talking like it seems like it's almost made by a boomer because it's talking about the times of the old, but then it's like pointing out problems. And it's just a nice little message and a reminder to what kind of the mission of the show is here, to like not point your guns at each other, but point them at the ivory tower.
And the boomers are retarded?
Well, they had lead, Dan. Give them a break. They had lead and everything. That's why boomers do that.
Now you expect me to believe that?
That's why boomers do the boomer stare. Because lead was in everything. The gas, the pipes, the paint.
We got microplastics, so we're good.
Yeah, our balls are just 20 pounds heavier than everyone else's.
And shriveling up at the same time. It's bizarre.
All right, Dan.
Our
Bell,
paints
go
are
ahead
getting
and
smaller. I
roll
know that's
that
true.
beautiful bean footage.
There's something strange happening in America. I don't know if you've noticed, but while the rich are getting richer, everyone else is not just getting poorer, but angrier, more isolated, and more depressed. All the things that actually make life worth living have become increasingly unaffordable and out of reach. Whether that's buying your first home or spending time with your loved ones. Or kids getting to hang out with their friends. Going bowling on Friday nights. Supporting your local team. Or taking care of your health. There seem to be more obstacles in the way of living a good life than ever before. And people are looking everywhere for someone to blame. But your enemies don't live in your neighborhood. They just own it.
Whoa!
Gotta try to get away from this dildo!
Your enemies don't live in your neighborhood. They just own it.
Yeah, I mean, I like where they're coming from there. But
Can we talk about
kinda-
that Blackstone CEO got killed and nobody talked about it?
Yeah, it did kind of sound like a little bit of anti-capitalist propaganda, but I'm here
Corey's
for that
been
for
barbecuing
most
too
of
much
what you were
Black
saying.
Rock.
And my Blackstone. Been cooking too much on my Blackstone.
No, it was a Blackstone CEO. Or
I know.
I don't know if it was CEO, but higher up.
Could you
Black
imagine
Rock.
it? Because like, well, no, it was well. There's Blackstone that's a subsidiary of BlackRock.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
But then there's also a Blackstone grill. Could you
There's
imagine
also the grills.
Somebody's like, I'm taking down Blackstone, or confuse BlackRock with Blackstone.
There was
went in there
Teflon on my Blackstone, and it gave my father cancer.
Goddamn PFAS.
It's just stainless steel, though, isn't it? Isn't
What?
the Blackstone griddle just steel?
No, it's cast iron.
Can't. Well, okay.
I have to treat that thing.
There's no coating on it, is what I'm saying. I don't know.
Oh no, like there's no coating on it. Like when you get it, you get to do through a whole process. Like it's the only time you use soap on it and you clean it, and then you have to turn it on and get it hot and use like an oil to coat it, to season it, and all that stuff. Like there's a whole thing.
Just to have hibachi in your own house.
I don't even do hibachi. I just cook burgers on it. I made burgers, pancake, eggs.
Charcoal, man.
Cooked a steak on it. It wasn't half bad.
Charcoal, man.
You use wood pellets.
No, I mean I have my Traeger to smoke stuff, but I use a Traeger to grill.
You do wood? You do charcoal on it?
No, I have a Weber kettle that I grill on. I grill my steaks and my burgers. Anything that needs to be cooked high and fast, I cook on the Weber with charcoal. And anything that needs to be cooked low and slow, I cook in the pellet smoker. I got both, man. I got best of both worlds. I gave up, dude. I will not ever own another propane grill in my life.
Ooh, don't let Hank Hill hear you say that.
I know. We're not here to advertise the new season of King of the Hill, although I think it's probably going to be pretty good.
This next one is talking about on TikTok. You're seeing a lot of Gen Z versus millennials shit.
Yeah, we should be on the same team.
We should be
really
on the
should
same
be.
team, but the chick looks crazy in that part right there. But you know how they talk about how
She looks hot.
How Gen Z doesn't drink as much as millennials.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah, well, she kind of puts it into perspective here. It's kind of funny, so I thought I'd play this one for you. Go ahead and roll that beautiful bean footage, Bill.
People are like, Gen Z are drinking less than millennials did. But can you imagine if they found a way to drink more than us? If Gen Z found a way to outdrink the Four Loko generation, we would actually probably have problems. Remember, for our 21st birthdays, it was customary to take 21 shots and live to tell the tale. We literally are the generation that invented power hours. If you don't know what power hours are, you don't need to know what they are. We used to play this game called Drinking and Driving, and we weren't actually driving. We were playing Mario Kart, but you had to race somebody in Mario Kart and chug a beer at the same time. It's actually so much harder than it sounds. But this was our idea of fun. And we just are the generation that invented this kind of shit. I remember when they'd come out with a new flavor of Burnett's vodka, it was like a new Beanie Baby was coming out. We were so excited. We're like, oh my God, they came out with sweet tea flavored vodka. Also, Gen Z found a way to work less than we had to. So I don't even know if they need to drink as much as we did.
And Gen Z's going, what the fuck are Beanie Babies?
No, they're saying, what the fuck is Burnett's?
Yeah, that too.
Or no, they know what Mario Kart is, but.
I was more of a Boone's Farm guy myself when I was younger. I understand Burnett's is vodka and Boone's Farm is really bad wine, but that was the if you want to drink something that didn't taste like ass.
Jeez, nope. I did Mohawk and would mix it with Red Pop until I vomited that up. And then after that, I switched to just drinking Admiral Nelson and chasing it with Coca-Cola.
It's all cheap, man. It's all cheap.
I just paid $88.
That's what I pay now when I go buy a bottle of bourbon.
Hey, Marissa.
You got any more? You got any more?
We got one more. Just because I'm just curious, what the fuck is going on here? I have no really other way to say anything about this other than just...
Oh, Trump on the roof?
Imagine if Biden was up on the roof, what the Republicans would be saying.
Somebody put a trampoline
Trump,
down there.
What the fuck is he doing?
This already, before you even play this already reminds me of the fucking episode of The Office
with Michael Scott on the roof
when he's jumping off into the blow up.
It's already a meme.
Blow up castle.
It's already a meme.
Is it? I thought so.
Go ahead and play that, Bell.
Sir, why are you on the roof?
Are you going to build up there? What does that mean?
That's not what really happened, is it? Is that
Dude,
made up audio?
That is real.
That's real audio?
That's real audio.
Wow.
Hey, Peter, looking good, Peter.
You've done a hell of a lousy job.
Everyone's like, what are you doing on the roof?
It really is. It's that episode of The Office for was that the safety episode? Where you're trying to teach workplace safety or whatever it was.
No, I think that was the mental health episode.
Oh yeah, and he was going to pretend to jump off the roof, but really jump off the roof into the bouncy castle. And he's trying to hide it on the other side of the wall, and you can see the fucking top of it.
Well, they did a trampoline to do that. Remember when the watermelon just smashes into Stanley's car?
Whoa! Do you got any more?
He skipped the no shit one.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, nope, never mind. No, we're good. We're good. Nope, that's all I have.
He bells on it. He knows what he's doing over there. Even though he looks like he's on a Ring camera.
So is that it?
Yeah, tell the people where they can find us.
Libservative Podcast is found on all social media and podcast platforms. Our website is libservativeshow.com. We can be found at Libservative on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Instagram and Twitter at LibservativePod. Our TikTok videos can be found at Libservative Podcast, and you can reach out directly at libservativepod@gmail.com. Subscribe today.
Yep.
We record every Wednesdays, sometimes on Thursdays.
Every Wednesdays. Yeah, next week we'll be a day behind. I don't know why. Corey didn't tell me why, but he needs to record on Thursday next week. So
what was
it might be a little late.
Austin has a meeting.
Yeah, well, that's radio for two. For Bell the Body Snatcher on the ones and twos, he as always has been Corey Walsh.
And he's Dan Griffin.
It's been Libservative Intellectual Idiots Fostering Political and Cultural Literacy, the world's smartest podcast. And until next time, we are...
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back. Somebody must lead, or else the fight would not be made at all.